we are at the Thermal Club in Thermal, California, about 2 hours away from GMG headquarters in Orange County. This is basically home away from home. It's a place where we get to test all the upgrades we design and develop at the shop and apply them to real-world applications here at the track. Let's start with the two Porsche GT3 RSs we have here today. One has the full GMG track package, and that includes our Gen 2 LMS roll bar that allows us to mount our harness system with the sport bucket seats from the factory. And we have our full header system combined with our center section. So we have the performance side from the exhaust, we have the safety harness bar with the harnesses, and then we have a performance alignment which we put on this car specifically for the track. Lowered it a few millimeters, adjusted the toe and the camber, gave it a more compliant and more responsive alignment, and we actually proved that that setup change has dramatic results on lap times here at Thermal. The other RS has the same roll bar and harness setup, but just the center section and the stock alignment. We wanted to compare the two to see the differences not only in the performance, but the drivability in the car, the sound of the exhaust system. Basically, this is a canvas where it allowed us to take the cars out on track to get a full breadth of performance capabilities throughout the day. Car's softer, but takes a better set. It's more compliant over the bumps than the Ferrari. Like the Ferrari, but it's just much more predictable. Brakes are awesome on this car. You gotta take a little roll, a little wide entry, then strong power down like the Porsche likes. Turn in late, a little rear wiggle, a little bit of lift, and then bam on the throttle. Take a wider entry here, little opposite lock strip. That's gonna hurt my lap time there. This is why I love Porsches so much. They're so mechanical, they're so responsive. Everything it does is predictable. Every input you give it, it gives it back. And what makes Porsche so strong is because everything just works, from the gearbox to the brakes. If you want to push it harder, it responds harder. If you want to actually go 8/10ths, the car is very stable. If you go 10/10ths, the car is even more stable. It likes to be driven hard. This car has a lot of mechanical grip with the big tires front to rear, and obviously with a lot of aero enhancements over the GT3, but unbelievable. I actually love this car. I love driving this car. It's more rewarding, it's more visceral. It's just basically the package for the ultimate driver. The driver who wants to drive the car, not just be a passenger behind the steering wheel. Oh, look at that rotation. Power down, weight transfer. There it is, the rear wants to come around. It's not as stable as the other RS. All right, so this car doesn't have our setup on it. And what I found was the car would have a mid-corner push to snap oversteer, but on the high-speed transitions, the rear was rotating on turn-in. So the slow speed had turn-in push. High-speed entry, it wanted to rotate. Now this is the fully stock setup. The alignment is as delivered versus where we lowered the front a little bit and changed the geometry with the caster and the camber. So let's see what we did for a lap time.
Then we've got the two Porsches, the stock GT3 RS, which is a very, very balanced platform right from the factory. And then fastest of all is the GMG modified GT3 RS, which has given us the best time of the day.
The Porsche with the alignment system was the fastest one here, and the second fastest car was the other RS that had the stock alignment. And I think the main reason why, it has a lot of rear grip off the corners. The car is very comfortable to drive on the limits. The brakes were amazing, but the biggest factor was with the Ferrari and the Huracan, I had trouble putting the power down and getting the car squared up off the corners, where the Porsche was dead on center and allowed me to get back to throttle a good 3, 4, 5 tenths sooner than both the Ferrari and the Lamborghini, hence the lap time reflected by over a second a lap faster with the Porsches.